be formless, shapeless, like water. Now you put water into a cup, it becomes the cup. Now water can flow or it can crash. Be water, my friend.
Way of the Warrior, it is Eric O'Brien along with Ken Evans, Paul Cicchini, and Sean Dezay. New book out called The Laws of the Ring. The author on the phone right now, Urijah Faber, joining us. Urijah, how are you?
Doing great. How are you?
I am excellent. The new book called Laws of the Ring, and I have to tell you, I really didn't know what to expect when I started reading this. I had just finished Chael's book, and it was everything I expected Chael's book to be. I picked yours up, and I have to say, it is by far the best MMA book I've ever read, and it may be one of the best inspirational along the lines of a Seth Godin or Malcolm Gladwell sort of book. It's stunning, my man.
Oh, that's awesome, man. I'm pumped to hear that, and I put a lot of heart and soul into that book, and that's exactly why, man. I was hoping to motivate people, and people would get something out of it. That makes me feel great, dude.
Well, I think when people look at this sport, Urijah, they forget that people with a wrestling background like yourself, I would say a mass majority of them have college degrees and are brilliantly smart, because wrestlers just kind of have to be brilliantly smart in order to succeed in the real world if they didn't get into MMA. And it's above and beyond that. Like, I've seen you do some motivational speaking, and there's a difference between eloquently speaking in a public setting and then putting that stuff down on paper. What was the process of, like, how long did it take you to write this whole thing?
Yeah, it's been a long process, and it actually started in 2008. I was asked to write an article for Fight Magazine, and they just said write it about anything. And I was going to write it on how to raise a champion, and I was basically going to have the theme of you don't get to choose what they're going to be a champion about, and just showing them support and stuff like that. I had all these ideas, and I got up in the middle of the night and had to jot them all down, and never turned in the article. I just started working on this book. And, of course, it's changed a lot because more stories started happening. I started experiencing more, and even my own views, shifted a little bit. And eventually got a book agent, and he coupled me with a great writer who helped me put the whole thing into book form. And it's been a really awesome process, and people are really loving it.
Book is called Laws of the Ring. It came out on Tuesday. Did the Laws of Power, the 36 Laws of Power, was that kind of the starting point after this article, or did those kind of manifest themselves as you were? Because essentially, it's your story with some case studies of how people's passions bring them to where they want to be. So did the Laws of Power, did that manifest out of the case studies and kind of your life experience?
No, definitely. I mean, it was something. It was a learning process, and it's taken all sorts of forms. My first idea for the book was Passion Runs the World, and then it was Laws of the Ring, 10 Laws of Power, 5 Laws of Weakness, and it took a lot of different forms, and we ended up coming up with this end product, which is something it's pretty cool.
It's cool, and you should be very, very proud of it. Has Dana read it yet? Because it seems like something that would be right up his alley, because he's a man of big passion.
He hasn't read it yet. It's hard to make that guy's schedule. He's super, super busy flying across the world and doing all sorts of stuff. So I'm definitely going to give him a copy. And he's in the book, so I was on a jet with him at one point and read him a small excerpt of the part where he and Lorenzo are in my book, and he liked it, so that was cool.
Did you love this process? When we talked to Forrest and he had written the 2 books, he certainly fell in love with that kind of storytelling process. Is this something that you'll do again?
I definitely want to do it again. I have a lot of stuff that I've been thinking about, like for a new concept for books. Some of the stuff that's in this book, like personal credit and building a Who's Who network, that stuff can be expanded on, and I've got some more great stories that didn't make it in the book. So I definitely want to do another book. I just want to have success with this one first.
I think you will. And I think as soon as business individuals pick this thing up and kind of get the ball rolling and it rolls out of the MMA world, I think you will see lots of success out of this because it's an absolutely brilliant book. I was stunned at how great it was. Not that I didn't expect it to be great, because I really haven't read any books out of the UFC fighters, Brian Stan, Brock Lesnar, that I didn't like. But this one is so different and so empowering, and it's one that's hard to put down. I mean, some of these books you read, you're like, okay, it's good, and I'll get to it eventually. I read this in 2 days.
That's awesome, man. And that's kind of what I've been hearing on Twitter, and I'm just really pumped, man, because that's what I envisioned with this thing. I was trying to inspire. The books that I like to read are ones that have the same feel to them, that they're inspiring and motivating and interesting. So to have something that does that to people is pretty cool.
Urijah Faber joining us. The book is Laws of the Ring, and July 7th, you are back in the ring, or more specifically, the octagon. Kind of a strange turn of events here. Cruz gets injured. You know that you're going to get a new opponent, and I was surprised to hear that the surprise was to you as well on Friday night. Is it weird to you that you didn't get to know prior to the filming of Tough, or the showing of Tough, I should say?
It was a little bit weird, but, this is a strange sport we're in, and I'm not going to dwell on it too much. But, they could have given me a little bit of a heads up. I mean, Barao had to know a little bit before I did, and it's not that far out.
July 7th, Barao and you going mano-a-mano. Is it hard, though, Urijah, to go through? Because when you talk to a lot of these Tough coaches, and we talk to all of them, it's when these fights don't manifest at the end of it, it's really hard to kind of let that fuel and that passion go. Was it hard for you to kind of shift when you knew that he wasn't going to be at the other end of the octagon? A
little bit. It helps having a named opponent, another guy that's dangerous, another guy that's thinking about beating you up. I mean, it's not that difficult to understand that you're going to battle somebody else, but I definitely wanted to fight him.
Urijah Faber is joining us. The book is Laws of the Ring. If you have not picked it up yet, make sure you go do it, because it is an absolute stunning book, and something that I think everybody, if you're an MMA fan, you absolutely have to have it in your catalog. If you're a casual fan or somebody who just likes reading really powerful books, it's something you need to own. Urijah Faber, have a wonderful weekend. Enjoy the fights on Saturday night. We will talk to you soon.
Thank you very much, and I'm glad you liked the book, dude. That's awesome.
Take care, my man.